Welcome back to the Hood Needs Fantasy Football Podcast. This is episode 106. I got my dogs with me here, MFB.
Yes, sir.
And BBTB,
Who?
who's half asleep and just wants to go to sleep and is begging us to finish this episode so we can go to sleep.
That's correct.
We're doing Week 13 waivers. We're going to start with quarterback position. We'll try to fly through this just so that BBTB can get his rest. At the top, Jameis Winston, fantasy cheat code, 4% rostered. Went out there and threw 2 touchdowns, caught a touchdown. He likely won't catch another touchdown, but he will sling it. So if you just need someone to fill in for this week, or actually there's no bye weeks this week, week 13,
None.
or someone's injured maybe, then maybe you need him. But he could also just be a stash in case something happens to your quarterback. Kirk Cousins next on the list, 8% rostered, who did okay this last week with no Drake London. So he gets Drake London back hopefully this week. So it should bump his productivity slightly. So didn't do very well in his previous start when Michael Penix was injured, but now that he's starter for the rest of the year, he should be more consistent hopefully. So look for Kirk Cousins on your waivers. Only 8% rostered. Davis Mills, 5% rostered, who, if the Texans are smart, will keep starting. Davis Mills, keep CJ Stroud in that soft bench protocol concussion thing he got going on. You know what I'm saying? Davis Mills is doing his thing, man. Led them to a win against Buffalo. The defense shut down Josh Allen, and Davis Mills didn't disappoint on the other end. I feel like if it was CJ Stroud, they probably would end up somehow losing that game because they couldn't get going on offense. So, but he's been pretty good. He has a lot of tough matchups, I will admit. So it's not going to be easy for Davis Mills, but just have him on your bench. You know, worst thing is something happens to your quarterback, you spot start him. Do you guys have a priority for any of these three? Which one that you like the most?
I low-key like them the way it's listed.
Jameis Winston, then Kirk Cousins, then Davis Mills in that order?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Davis Mills has some pretty tough matchups, so I wouldn't be excited for him.
I would. I mean, not as a stash, as a streamer. I like Davis Mills this week.
Okay.
Winston has a tough matchup this week against the Patriots. So
Yeah.
I'm not too trusting. I think this is like a week where Jameis Winston gets exposed and kind of does trash.
He has those weeks too, though. So he could fall flat on his face from time to time. So it's always risky with him. But if you need that boom or bust, he can definitely boom. So Davis Mills, I mean, if they keep, CJ Stroud in this, soft bench protocol thing they got going on, then Davis Mills could be a good play against the Colts in a divisional matchup. So we shall see. Let's move on to wide receivers. At the top, Andre Yoshivas, 20% rostered with T. Higgins already ruled out for the week. Jamar Chase is coming back. He likely will take most of the coverage. Joe Burrow may be back this week. If that's the case, definitely upgrades all the receivers in Cincinnati. And with no T. Higgins, that leaves a hole to fill that Yoshivas should be able to fill. So next on the list, John Mechie III in Jets, on the Jets, 1% rostered. We're just throwing his name in there. He had a touchdown 2 weeks in a row. So who knows? He might keep it up. He might be their best receiver. I'm not going to endorse this one, but I'm just throwing him in there. Chimere DK, who we talked about, with no Io Manor, did his thing, returned a touchdown, and then also caught a touchdown. He seems to be Cam Ward's favorite target. So he's definitely worth an add, and you could possibly flex him here or there. Another couple names that are probably more heavily rostered: Parker Washington, 40% rostered, and Jaden Reed, who's coming back from IR, 36% rostered. They probably aren't available in your leagues, but just look for them if they are. Between Yoshivas, John Mechie, and DK, who do you guys prefer? Who are you prioritizing?
Yoshivas.
Definitely Yoshivas for the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then probably
Yeah.
just a coin flip between the other two.
I
Literally.
like DK a lot. I like him more than John Mechie. I think that he's just been a lot more involved, and he's kind of building that rapport with Cam Ward. So I like him more than John Mechie. Yoshivas, yeah, definitely for this week. It could be 2 weeks, man. I think T. Higgins had to be carted off the field with that concussion, so who knows how long he's going to be out for? Maybe a serious one. So if they want to hold him out, they can hold him out. They already ruled him out this week very early on, and who knows? He'll have a lot longer of a time to get healthy for the following week, since they play on Thursday this week. But still, just FYI. That's it for wide receivers. Let's move on to running backs at the very top. Devin Neal, who took over for Kamara when he got injured, only rostered in 4% of leagues. He seemed kind of inevitable. I think as the year went on, we just kept seeing Kamara, not doing so much. Then he, doesn't practice all week, and then he plays, and it just felt like eventually there's going to be something that happened that Kamara is no longer able to perform or not, just not healthy enough. So anyways, 4% rostered. Go out and pick him up. Chris Rodriguez come back off the bye, who is, I believe is still the starter for the Commanders running backs, and was doing his thing before the bye. So I think they have a tough matchup this week, but still worth a stash and just kind of hold them on your bench. Dylan Sampson, who kind of came in in relief of Quinshon Judkins, who was injured in that game. Quinshon did end up coming back in the game, but Dylan Sampson, pick him up in case Quinshon doesn't go this week or gets injured again later. He showed what he can do when he's able to get the opportunities. So 11% rostered, worth an ad. Raheem Mostert, 1% rostered. Ashton Genty kind of got a little bit banged up at the end of the game. It's an ankle injury. I think the coach was saying that it's not serious or it's nothing, he'll be fine or whatnot, but you just never know. Pay attention to any reports you see throughout the week, obviously before waivers, but Raheem Mostert, very low roster, just kind of a handcuff. Anything on these RBs? Any of these guys that you guys like? Are they all just dart throws?
Oh, just whatever.
I mean, they're all kind of stashes. I mean, the best, as far as usage, well, for sure, Chris Rodriguez, I would say.
Yeah.
Also a better offense. Devin Neal, because Kamara should probably just rest his old ass and get ready for Cancun. And the other two guys are just pure handcuffs at this point.
100%. Yeah. So if you pick them up, if you have the player, if you have Quinshon Judkins, make sure you get Dylan Sampson. If you have Ashton Genty, get Raheem Mostert. Just have the handcuff, and don't play it risky. Play it safe. Let's move on to tight ends. A couple of names here. Brenton Strange, who played his first game back off IR, was 11.9 fantasy points. I think he made it into the studs list. 13% rostered, so still pretty widely available. He's going to be a big name this week because he's very low rostered and he's been out for a while, so it's been very under the radar. Darren Waller, who's supposed to be coming back off IR this week and was doing his thing over in Miami before he got that injury. I think it was a pec injury or something. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyways, 21% rostered. I don't know if I would trust him first game back, but just pick him up, stash him. Tight ends have been kind of all over the place this year, so he's just worth the stash. Colston Loveland, who we brought up on this list before, and then he kind of faded away, and then now he's back. 43% roster. He's probably not out there, probably not available, but if he is, just pick him up. Maybe you can use him, maybe not. Either way, we mentioned him on the last episode about how his usage has gone up and his route participation has gone up, even with Cole Kmet there. Are any of these guys, that's it for tight ends, are any of these guys exciting to you? Do you guys care about any of these guys?
I like Loveland a lot. Man, if any reason Kmet goes out, Loveland could be tight end 1 any given week.
Okay. Brenton Strange, you guys care about him?
No.
He's cool as a stash.
like-
It's just he might be okay, but it depends. I feel like Brian Thomas is coming back, and then Jacoby Myers is there, right?
Yeah.
So how many targets does this guy really going to see week to week? That's kind of the question for me.
Okay. Yeah, Parker Washington kind of picking it up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Darren Waller interesting or not really? Because me.
Not
A little
interesting.
bit low key. Like if you really need a tight end, yeah. Because
I think he's good as a stash.
has Miami's been using Greg Dulce de Leche?
Dulce de leche.
Dulce de
Golly.
leche.
I feel like they've been kind of getting him the ball. So maybe if they get Darren Waller back,
dude.
they got some more firepower.
They were using Darren Waller a lot. He was looking good before he went out. So yeah, I think he's definitely worth an add in a stash. But yeah, Loveland's the top, harder to acquire, not as available. That's it for tight ends. Let's move on to some kicker options and some defenses. For kickers, Brandon McManus, 13% rostered. I think they have a divisional matchup this week against, let me confirm before I make something up and I tell you guys a lie. They're playing against Detroit. So yeah, divisional matchup against Detroit. He's been doing okay for the Packers. He's kind of a risky play. I feel like he could always fall flat on his face, but I still think in a divisional matchup in Detroit, in the dome, I believe he should be able to kick just fine. Zane Gonzalez for the Atlanta Falcons has been doing his thing, and the Jets are the number one matchup for kickers, so only 3% rostered, so pretty widely available. One of these guys should be able to get you a decent amount of points this week. A couple of defenses. Miami plays the Saints, 3% rostered. The Saints have not looked that good on offense. Kamara just went down, not that he was doing anything. But yeah, Juwan Johnson's probably their best player right now. So yeah, pick up Miami defense. They were kind of doing their thing before the bye too, the defense. So worth an add. Jacksonville plays against Tennessee. Jacksonville is 40% roster, so a little bit more or not as available, but still a good matchup against Tennessee. Cam Ward sucks, as we've seen. So look for him or look for that defense out there. And then actually Jacksonville's the number one matchup for defenses, huh? They're 42% roster, by the way.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, San Francisco, who plays against the Cleveland Browns with Shadouse Sanders. We will see just how good he can be in his second NFL start. They've already announced, by the way, that he's starting next week. FYI. So, or I should say this week upcoming. So yeah. Any of these, well, I mean, if you can get them, they're all good matchups. If you can get them, cool, run it up. If you can't, you're going to have to just make a decision. But reach out to us in the Discord, ask us, hey, which of these defenses would you guys prefer? And we'll let you know. But that does it for kickers and defenses, and that does it for the waiver episode.
I really want to know what BBTB's looking at.
I don't want to know. I actually don't want to know. Yeah. Guys, look, sometimes you're considering picking up one of these players. We call them out. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Let me pick this player up. Sometimes the player on your bench is worth more than the player you're picking up. Don't go drop a decent player on your team to go pick up.
And don't trade for a guy and then drop him.
Man, do not do that. Do not do that, man. What a silly move. Yeah, happened to me. I traded a guy away and the guy just dropped him. And the guy that he dropped got 20 plus fantasy points. Was in the studs. Anyways, yeah, reach out to us on Discord, guys. If you're not sure, oh, should I drop this player for this player on the waivers? Should I make that claim? Like, it's sometimes the player on your waiver is worth more and you shouldn't drop them just because maybe they had a bad week or something. Anyways, that does it for the waiver episode, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.